If anyone's to say the vegan movement hasn't grown, they're not looking at the evidence. Okay, it's grown exponentially. Even in the last 2 years, it's exploded. Vegan options are becoming mainstream everywhere. Fast food chains are putting vegan options on. They're discovering that there is a demand for vegan products, and that's because there's more vegans, basically. Vegan activism has exploded. We've got Anonymous for the Voiceless, the Save movement worldwide. We've got prominent ethical animal rights activists becoming popular on social media. So ethics and animal rights is becoming popular, which is important for the animals because we're speaking for them at the end of the day. And I've never seen this amount of passionate vegans standing up for what's right.
Obviously out the front of a place that puts animals inside sandwiches. Do you think you can care for animals while you're eating them? So you know that animals have to be hurt so you can have that sandwich. Yeah. People care about animals, but we show them that their actions don't reflect that.
Yeah.
Because you can say you care about animals all you like. I can say I care about my wife, but then I go home and beat her. But you see, my actions aren't consistent with my belief of caring about her, are they? So I could say I care about animals and pay for a pig to go into a gas chamber and be killed so I can have a bacon sandwich. So it's sort of like conflicting views there.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's so important?
Why do I think it's so important? Well, the same reason it's important for people to speak up if they see women being abused or children being abused or murder happening or some type of injustice, dogs being cruelly treated. This is exactly the same thing. Farm animals should not be looked at any differently. It's a form of injustice. Animals are all have moral value, and if we were to, look after some members of society and completely exclude others, then it's just pure hypocrisy. We should be looking at all beings with the same amount of respect. There's a quote that says, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." So if we allow slavery in one sort of aspect of society, and we're saying it's immoral in other aspects of society, we've created a massive double standard there. So we need to be consistent across the board with who we're standing up for. So if you're vegan and you know about what's going on and you're not standing up, you're saying that you're okay with that happening. Alright guys, so obviously it's very cold, it's been raining all day and the weather's not, the most welcoming, but we are displaying that we are dedicated to the cause here. And you brave the storm, which is good, and you fight in the weather, which is amazing. A lot of dedicated activists standing out in this weather to bear witness to animals. Obviously what's going on in there is an injustice and we're all aware of that. And when you become aware of that, it's important for us to speak out about it, and that's what you guys are doing. You're standing up and you're saying, hey, we're against that. We know what goes on in there and we're going to wait out the front of here and show you that we care. What I'm trying to do is get the people who do outreach to get involved with bearing witness, okay? Now, we're speaking to the police officers at these places. They claim to care about animals, and that's the society we are dealing with. What they're doing is they're seeing McDonald's and they're seeing animal signs out the front, and they're making a connection that, hey, in those burgers there, or in your butcher, they're animals. They're actually animals, it's not meat. Meat is a euphemism. Do you think that the people that eat dogs care about those dogs?
I don't know. I've never met anybody who eats dogs.
Do you think that you can care about dogs if you chop them up and eat them? Ethics, environment and health. And on the back you can do a little challenge. Here's a little card for you, mate.
Thank you very much.
Seek the truth. On the back, do a vegan challenge. They care about animals with one hand and they're eating their dead bodies with another hand. So this is what we have to wake people up to. So a nation of animal lovers, right? UK, nation of animal lovers.
I'd say that most countries would say that they were animal lovers.
And slaughterhouses aren't really synonymous with loving animals, are they? So if you're involved with the Save movement, get involved with AV as well and talk to the public about what you see here, what's in people's backyards. I mean, if we don't give them money, they will stop killing animals. So if we stop buying their body parts, then they'll stop killing them. So this slaughterhouse is in our area. Okay, these are probably the pigs that you're eating. Okay, they're not just a piece of meat, but they've been transformed into a piece of meat. Okay, but that meat was torn off of the body of an animal who their life was taken against their will. Okay, it adds another level to it. Okay, and I want the people that go on Bear Witness to come and do outreach. Okay, they both work hand in hand. This movement is going to explode. It really is exploding. It's growing exponentially, and it's only because vegans are standing up.
And then she hooked me up on your videos about 6 months ago.
Wow.
And I was eating meat 6 months ago. And I'm here today at this vigil.
And now you're here at a vigil.
Yeah.
Wow. Tomorrow night, I've got my activist workshop, so come along.
Get the head cut off. Just so someone can have a sandwich.
First thing you need to know is why you're being active, okay? Because if I was doing this for any other reason, I would have given up a long time ago. I'm just taking it as it comes right now, and yes, being a full-time activist does take its toll on you, but I always have something called perspective. So whenever I'm feeling a bit down, okay, I think about what the animals are going through, and it doesn't seem as bad, and that's what we all need to do. We need to put our emotions aside sometimes and just go for it. No matter what struggles we face, it's nothing like being on a slaughterhouse truck and being driven to your own murder. So that there fuels my fire and keeps me humble, keeps me in perspective. But yeah, it's a tough road. It's an emotional ride. It's physically, mentally exhausting, but there's a fire that's burning inside of me, and that's what keeps me going. Doctors used to recommend smoking cigarettes, you know that, right? In the 50s.
Yes, I know we did.
Oh, so was your doctor right then?
No, he wasn't.
Okay, so he was wrong.
Right, he was
wrong. So doctors were wrong?
They were wrong then.
Okay, I could give you some scientists to tell you the truth.
When my doctor tells me to stop eating meat...
Okay. Would you eat a dog?
Sorry?
Would you eat your pet dog? Do you have a pet dog?
I have a dog.
Okay, do you care about your dog?
Yes, of course I do.
Okay. When you do outreach with people who actually want to hear it, okay, it builds your confidence, okay? You get very confident in speaking to people about it. And if you go Bear Witness with the Save movement, okay, you see what animals are going through on them trucks, it reinforces your beliefs on what's going on with animals. So no matter what anyone says, it cannot override that. Do you care about animals?
Yes, of course I do.
Okay, so why would you eat animals when you care about them? You know they have to go into a slaughterhouse to be killed.
People have got to eat meat in there.
I've been eating meat for 4 years, healthier than I've ever been.
Right, well that's your opinion.
No, it's not. There's a bunch of other people here that don't eat meat too. They're healthy as well. It's not an opinion, my friend.
You.
I'm just letting you know that it's not an opinion, bro.
These people, you people.
My people, yeah.
You people that are
We care about animals and we don't eat them. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, you do too.
Eat animals.
No, we don't. You've been taught wrong. That's not true. I'm showing you evidence here. Why don't you listen to me? I'm trying to help you, brother, here.
No, I don't want it.
Okay, we don't have to. You don't have to, but I'm just letting you know that what you've been taught isn't true, okay?
So you're telling me that what I've been taught is not true?
Yeah, you don't have to eat animals
I just turned around and said to him what I learned is not true. So he's told me then what I learned is not true. So you're telling me that it's not true.
You don't have to eat animals.
Out of order.
You don't have to eat animals to survive, my friend.
So you have to eat animals to survive. You'll die without them.
I wouldn't say I would die without them.
No, you don't actually need it to survive, okay? Just letting you know. There's no justification to stab an animal to death for an unnecessary reason, okay? So you've always got that. There's nothing they can say that can justify that.
Yeah, so parents don't know. It's not their fault either. Like, I don't blame people.
My daughter would do.
She's vegan?
She's a vegan, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was talking to someone tonight who, his daughter was vegan, and he said that. I said, well, don't you care about animals? And he goes, yeah, I do. There's a pigeon that hurt themselves. And
my cat brought a pigeon in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How'd it make you feel?
You know, ran under the car, and I called the RSPCA, and the pigeon ended up dying. I said, oh, pretty sad. Hey, I said, but don't you eat birds?
But do you eat birds?
What?
Do you eat birds?
Oh, I eat chicken.
Yeah, so you eat birds, but you tried to help a bird.
What do you think to those people that say the way you behave is almost like an extremist?
An extremist. I would say, as vegans, we want peace, okay? Now, UK is already a country who cares about animals, okay? People in this country care about animals. We just live in alignment with that. Yeah, I know, that's weird, we can't watch it, hey, but we actually put it inside of our body, we eat it. And you said straight away, I can't watch that because you care about animals, you know?
It's less about caring about animals and more about not wanting to see any sort of violence.
Yeah, but we're consuming that violence, so it's in our stomachs. Okay, there's a dead body in your stomach of an innocent animal. Because we're paying for this to happen, essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're animals. At the end of the day, my mate.
We don't eat animal bodies, we don't drink their breast milk, we don't steal their eggs. Yeah, I know that's really intense to hear, but...
Killing animals and eating their meat is savage.
Yeah.
You can't call yourself civilized.
Yeah.
Can you? It's not right.
Do you eat animals?
Only fish and chicken.
Oh, so you eat fishes and chickens. Yeah, they're animals too, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't walk around pointing my finger going, it's your fault. I used to eat animals 3 times a day.
A lot of your mates are vegan? Yeah. Oh, really? That's a go. What do they do it for? Health?
Health, maybe.
Health. Yeah, it's a healthier lifestyle, plant-based eating. The slaughterhouse owner, he kept this pig. So I don't know whether he had a crisis of conscience and decided to keep this pig here as a token. I don't think he gets looked after the best here, but they don't deserve to be treated the way they are. To end up in someone's stomach. Bunny! That's one for you, a little treat. Let's go to the belly. Yeah. So the poppies on the front of those trucks, it's quite ironic because they're a symbol of remembrance for war veterans and the war and stuff like that. But yeah, they're driving around the corpses of dead animals. Veganism is the only way you can live without harming animals. But breast milk from a cow who's suffered, and it contains something called somatic cells, which is pus.
Nothing wrong drinking cow's milk.
Oh, there's everything wrong with it. It's a crueler industry than the beef industry because all those cows, they suffer longer. They have their children taken from them. They're exploited until they can't produce milk anymore, then they get killed too. I think it's absolutely disgraceful that hospitals, schools and other institutions are getting money from the dairy industry to promote their products to children, and they're infiltrating the nutrition system, and they're educating nutritionists and doctors and dietitians that their product is healthy because they got that much cash. But you know what? We are limiting their cash flow. We are. So soon they're not going to have money for this advertising. They're going to fight. They're going to fight hard, but sooner or later they're going to move into plant-based milks. So there's a legal limit of pus allowed in the milk in the UK and Australia. It's 400,000 cells per milliliter. Yeah, well, it's really the people that drink the dairy that are killing them because they're paying for it to happen, you know what I mean? Businesses don't exist without consumers paying for a product.
I don't know, like I would rather see my cat or my dog put down rather than be in pain.
Yeah, if they were in pain. These animals aren't. They're being bred into existence so we can bolt gun them in the head, slice them up into pieces for unnecessary reason.
Okay.
Would you agree we don't have to eat animals to survive? Or be healthy? When they can't lay eggs anymore, they go to a chicken slaughterhouse and get their throat slit and the flesh ripped off of their bones. Would you agree?
I'm going to say that veganism has kind of taken off the last 20 years. I'm not going to talk about health because, ironically, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm a police officer.
Do you think we have to eat animals to survive?
No, I know that there are plenty of people who don't eat animals and survive.
So it becomes an unnecessary practice then?
I'm not going to disagree with you, sir. Because
a lot of people just don't know. They don't know that drinking cow's milk kills cows and kills babies and separates families. They don't know that. That scenario is probably never going to happen, but the scenario that I'm giving you with the animals in these real slaughterhouses is actually happening every single day in all of our lives.
No, I don't know, I'm very aware, girls.
You don't think that it's your responsibility to choose a product that doesn't involved killing cows? What's culturally acceptable does not make something moral, because slavery was once culturally acceptable.
Did I ever say it was?
No, you didn't. You didn't. But you agree with me on that, because culture doesn't determine morality. It's culturally acceptable to eat dogs.
I'll say now that there was a lot of people at the time who said that slavery wasn't right.
Yeah, and that's who we are. That's who we are.
Which is why I'm down here to support you.
Yeah, that's who we are.
Which is why I'm down here to support
you. The best way to support us is to stop consuming the products that do this to animals. Why does a cow produce milk?
For its calf.
Okay, so how do we come into that picture? That's for a baby. That's not for us. When did you stop drinking milk? Your mother's milk?
Well, when I was a baby.
Okay, and there's no biological need for breast milk anymore in your life, hey? You're a full-grown man?
Yeah.
Okay, so why are you drinking the milk from another mother? They haven't seen suffered mothers being led into a slaughterhouse and have their throats slit. You know, mothers calling out for their calves for days. They haven't been inside a dairy farm. They haven't seen, you know, cows be raped and... You're not a baby anymore, you're a full-grown man. There's no biological need for breast milk anymore, you've grown.
Yeah, I know, but...
So why do you drink it?
No, I see your point of view.
Yeah. So it's an unnecessary act. Never asked you to respect their choice to eat animals. I would never ask you to do that. But to show them respect, because there was a time when I didn't know.
But they wouldn't be here if we didn't eat them, so I suppose...
Yeah, they would. There would be wild cows, there'd be wild cows, but if we were breeding humans into existence for the sole purpose of chucking them in a gas chamber and eating their bodies, or maybe even a life of suffering, having their children taken away from them, like we wouldn't say, well, you should be grateful we gave you life. Am I doing this for me? Oh no, I'm doing this for those dairy slaves that are going to get their kids taken off them their whole life and be murdered. You understand the analogy of paying a hitman?
Yeah.
To do a job for you? Okay, now, the hitman wouldn't do that job if it wasn't for your money, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, now you're paying a hitman, the dairy industry. They're doing the hit, you're giving them the cash, you're putting them in business. The people that get their wages for stabbing cows after they can't produce milk, that wage is coming from you. You know, you can win an argument on veganism on pure logic alone, because carnism is an illogical position, okay? There's contradictions all over the place, and they're really easy to point out once you see them.
Right, I see.
Now, if you put the money into other industries, where's the wage going? Bang, the industry goes down, and slowly, they abolish it. And that's what's happening to dairy.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong in drinking cow's milk.
Really? After all we've just discussed? It's up to you as an outreacher to bring it back to animal use. Don't let them leave with a welfarist message in their mind. Even if we try to find the best way of doing it, it would still be wrong in that cow's eyes, because that cow doesn't want to be used for their body. You know, I know, like, when I first went vegan, I felt like, yeah, I've been vegan my whole life. Look at these animal abusers. Like 6 months ago, I was eating animals. Like, I'd completely forgotten about that. I realised this myself. I said, well, I used to eat animals 3 times a day, heaps of meat. Dairy on everything, cheese on everything. And I realised, wait a second, I'm giving them hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, which is going straight into their hand, which is boosting a business, which is immoral to animals. Okay? And you're putting that suffering and violence inside of your body. And your body's a temple. You're basically questioning him till he realises something. So it's a really simple concept. We are paying them to kill animals on our behalf. Yeah. Okay? Which is even more immoral, because we don't even have the knife in our hand. We're paying someone else because we don't have the courage to do it ourselves. Okay? Anger can get you off your butt to go do something. Okay? But it's the way you channel those emotions that is important. When you give them money, you're saying kill them. And it must be terrifying for him to hear the screams of the other pigs from across the road. Like, he must lay here at night just hearing pigs screaming and not being able to interact with anyone. It must be really horrible reality for him. Now I speak for animals on a different level, okay? On a different level. I've been there with them, okay? They're my brothers and sisters now, okay? And that's who I'm defending. Pigs can understand when they see each other suffer as well. They understand empathy. If they see another pig suffering, they understand what that is. So if he can hear, you know, his friends and stuff screaming, it must be scary for you, hey? Well, it's the same type of personal choice like it is your personal choice to abuse a small child or to, you know, be cruel towards a dog. It is a choice, but it's not a personal choice, and it's an immoral choice. So we live in a society that we have a choice. We have a choice between a vegan burger, or we have a choice between a burger with a suffered dairy slave in there. Piece of her body, suffered her whole life. Her life was taken against her will. That's inside of that burger. I could show you a vegan burger that tastes not much different, and you can either choose to fund slavery and murder and abuse, or you can choose to fund an ethical industry. It's as simple as reaching, you know, for soy milk in the supermarket. If you remain silent in a situation where you could speak up for animals, you've just betrayed them.
However, what I'm going to say is I'm going to end the conversation there, because what you're starting to do is start to try to talk about this one and draw me out. So I'm going to cut the same conversation.
Okay, how about this? I've got a little card here, some more info on there. You can have a look if you want.
Thank you.
And you seem like a very switched on individual, and I'm sure you can navigate yourself through the logic. But
I will do.
Yeah.
I won't lie.
We should never turn away from suffering, we should move closer and try to help. So if people ever tell you that the Save movement does nothing, they are not looking at the evidence and they don't understand it completely.
Yeah, it's alright. You do it on the street, but you can't do it in front of restaurants. Sorry.
It will affect people from eating the animals, you think?
No, it doesn't matter.
But I'm not doing this for me, am I? I'm not doing this for vegans, am I? Doing this for animals. Animals are the ones enslaved, aren't they? If we want animals to be free, the main thing is we need to believe that it's possible. We all need to collectively, as a whole movement, believe that this is inevitable.
People might choose the vegan option if they see these signs. So maybe their vegan meals will sell really well.
No comment.
No comment?
No comment.
The universe gets behind you when you follow your heart. It really does. It really does. Don't let fear get in the way of that.
Kids are good to talk to.
Yeah.
Kids love animals, don't they? Their parents feed them bacon, but the parents don't really know either, do they?
Yeah. But when you ask them questions, they engage, don't they? There comes a time when silence is betrayal.
Well, it's something that's not particularly taught in schools, is it? So
no, they teach you on the TV that it's food.
Vegan food. Vegan food.
And trust me, it fuels your fire.
Look at that face. Hello.
Injustice cannot last forever.
Wow, brother. Give us a hug for that, mate. What an amazing story. Keep it up, brother. See, you can affect one person, they can go on to affect more.
But the most effective form of activism is the one that you're best at, the one that resonates best with you, okay? So whatever your skill set is, utilise that in the animal rights movement. So never lose hope. We need to believe it's possible, and I truly do believe it's possible. So don't stand by and watch. Let's do something together. Okay, thank you very much.
That's the course we have. Now, as for pushing views on people, there's a group of people committing an immoral act, whatever that immoral act is, whether it's rape, murder, whether they're thieving of good people, okay? Would you have the same position if I was pushing my views of morality onto these people? No, the public would stand beside me. If people in Yulin, China are chopping dogs' paws off and boiling them alive, okay, and we come there with signs and said, hey, these dogs have moral value, okay, why are you abusing them and putting them in these, you know, horrible situations for a sandwich, for like a dog stir fry? People would be on my side, and they would never say to me, hey, stop pushing your views on these dog murderers. They wouldn't. So why is it any different for farmed animals? Okay, it's because they're speciesist in their mind. They discriminate between species. Dogs and cats matter. Okay, cows, chickens, pigs, fish and lambs don't matter to them. So then they're not even considered victims by society. Okay, so if you start standing up for them, all of a sudden you're pushing your views and opinions on people. Hey, I can make my own choices. Oh no, that's my personal choice to abuse these animals that don't matter. They're products in people's eyes. They're objects in people's eyes. And to them, it's a choice like it is to buy a Samsung or an iPhone. That's the little arbitrary choice in their mind. But really, it's the difference between murder and freedom, okay? Enslavement and peace. That is the difference.
Thank you so much, Joey.
Okay.
Oh, that was very lovely. Thanks for that. I feel really good now. Thanks.